Dear brothers and sisters, let us pay respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and Ayah by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Thank you, Ayah. May we have Ayah to lead us in the taking of refuge and precepts.
So, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us now compose our mind to pay salutation to the Triple Gem. Araham Samma Sambuddha Bhagava Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Vandana, opening salutation. You may recite after the Venerable. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Isarana, we refuges. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dutiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Tatiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Anadipata Veramani Sikkapadam Samadhiyami. Adinadana Veramani Sikkapadam Samadhiyami. Kamesu Nichachara Veramani Sikkapadam Samadhiyami. Musavada Veramani Sikkapadam Samadhiyami. Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkapadam Samadhiyami.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Ayah. May we also request Ayah to kindly lead us in a 5-minute meditation to calm ourselves.
Now sit comfortably and adjust your body to an upright and relaxed position. Close your eyes and bring your attention within. Just temporarily let go whatever really matters. And just be fully aware of your whole body. Take 3 times of deep breath. Now just bring your attention to your head, on the top of the head, and observe that the head is relaxed. Observe that the forehead is relaxed. The eyes are relaxed. Your ears relax. Nose relax. Your mouth, tongue relax. Observe that the whole face is relaxed. Now moving on to your neck. Relax. The shoulder joints. Relax. Your arms, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, your wrists, your palms, your fingers are totally relaxed. Bring down to your chest. Relax. Your abdomen. Relax. Your upper back. Relax. The lower back. Relax. Observe that your whole torso is totally relaxed. Now moving down to your legs. Observe that your groin, your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, the feet and toes, all are totally relaxed. The whole body from the top of the head down, down, down to the tip of the sole is totally relaxed. Now as you breathe in, you may keep a smile on the lips and bring that smile into your heart. And as you breathe out, be happy. Breathing in, smile on your lips, smile into your heart. Breathing out, be happy. And also well-wish yourself as you breathe in and smile. May I be well. And as you breathe out, may I be happy. As you well-wish yourself, experience the well-being within you. When able to feel the calmness in your heart, you may also well-wish that all the participants, all the speakers, and this DIG to be well and happy. And continue to radiate out your loving kindness from your heart, not only to all those who are present here, but to all their family members too, wherever they are. May they also be well and happy. As we well wish ourselves to be well and happy, and also those who are present in this DIG, and to all their family members, they also now extend our loving kindness to all their relatives and friends, to all our neighbors, to the whole community, to be well and happy. Remember to always keep a smile on your lips, a smile into your heart. And radiate out your loving kindness. So as far as we reach out to all the people and the whole Malaysia, and in all the neighboring countries, all the neighboring islands, to the whole world, and into the universe, and all the realms of existence that are seen or unseen, known or unknown by you. Cherish the good wish that may all beings, all beings, all beings be well and happy. May all those who are suffering be suffering free. Those in sorrow be free from sorrow. Those in pain be free from pain. Those in fear be free from fear. May all beings be well, safe, and find peace. May all beings be well, safe, and find peace. May all beings be well, safe, and find peace. Now bring your attention back to your whole body. Maintain the calmness in your mind. And always keep a smile in your heart. Now bring your attention to your eyes. And today we'll be able to continue to learn the Dhamma and to practice in accordance with the Dhamma. Now when you're ready, you may open up your eyes wide awake. So we have come to the end of the 5 minutes session, and have a fruitful day today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ayah. Okay, so dear brothers and sisters, you'll now be assigned to your breakout groups where you discuss with your group members for 30 minutes. Once time is up, you'll return to the main Zoom session. So here is a quick reminder on our questions for today. Okay, number 1, how do you deal with toxic people? Number 2, have you encountered a situation where you practice metta, but it doesn't seem practical or applicable? Number 3, have you experienced a situation where metta helped you to pull through a difficulty? Share with us your experience. Okay, so now we will be in our breakout rooms. Okay, we have everybody in the room already. Can we please have group 1 to present?
Casey will be presenting. I will share screen first. Okay, so the first question is like, how did you practice loving kindness in dealing with people in the past, or have you encountered a social situation where you keep giving yet but not appreciated by others or surrounded by toxic group? So I think among the discussion, right, the best example will be the workplace or company lah, because there's a lot of gossips around. Yeah. So personally, we do for me myself, right, I do listen to gossips also, but I don't tend to talk or join in the gossip among the people. So slowly, right, how to say, because once I join in to talk bad or gossip about people, right, I will keep on getting more gossip from there. So after that, I practice, not practice, I don't like to talk bad about people. So slowly I start to like just listen, but didn't talk anything, right, or didn't join in the discussion, right. Slowly people will, how to say, to leave me alone. Yeah, didn't get won't like purposely come to look for me or talk gossips about people. So this is what I experienced from this kind of situation. And then if let's say for friends or family, like if they have any issue, right, we also do some like metta sharing to them, well wisher, even though personally I or we don't have any connections or direct touch with any matters happens like all this. Then for second one, encountered a situation where you practice metta because but doesn't seem practical or applicable. I think yes, for especially me, because I'm just starting to do to learn about metta also. So for that, I experienced once is that when there is anger, right, I know that I have to do metta to that person so that I won't like create more hatred or what to that person. But before the anger, but with anger, I cannot do metta to that person. At the moment, I'm still angry. So then, of course, I got asked Ayah or any seniors, sister or brothers about that. And then they said that because I didn't do metta to myself first, that's why the anger is still there. And then, of course, I got expectation that that people should change for me instead of I change myself or what. So, of course, after this, I also try to like cool down through ways, which of course the other members also that mentioned, they like do like a deep breathing before they do metta, or listen to relaxation music, or let them feel better, let us feel ourselves better first, only we start to do metta to others, like that. Then the third one will be, the third question is, experience a situation where metta helped you to pull through a difficulty. Yeah, their sister share is that she has a friend is sick, and then of course she cannot do anything for her friend except to just send some medication or say some words that makes her feel better. So she keep on doing metta to her friend, and then to well wish her to feel good or feel better. And then after that, like few days later, the friend actually called the sister up, that she said that she has been feeling better and slowly recover from there. And she thought that this actually metta to her friend is a good experience that can share to others. And then second one, the example will be an argument, because this one is I experienced myself, is that I almost have an argument with my my sister. I think because of my ego. Because I tend to ask my sister to do things without the word please, like a taikaze towards my sister. I'm like a taikaze like that. So of course she just wanted a word like, please can you help me to do like do these things like that. So of course I don't feel willing to say this kind of word, but after that I cool myself down. I actually tell her, okay, can you help me to do these things, please, like that. Then after this message, actually I go and do chanting at Ariya's, and then we do metta meditation. Then of course I did do metta meditation to her, and then after that the whole meditation done already. Actually I feel that the incidence is actually like not that big deal, but I make it like a very big deal because of my egoness. Yeah, so actually people just want a please word only, and then yeah, so from there actually I open up my heart a bit, and then feel that actually my sister is quite cute when she asks for a please. Yeah, so this is the experience from the metta. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Casey, for sharing with us. Okay, now let's take a look at group 2s. Okay, Sister Prissy will be explaining this.
Okay, for question 1, well, we were sharing about again, most of us experience this in office. Most of us office politics, I say, so like targeted in like rumors and all this. And then probably, I guess from this is my sharing. I would say we are not very skillful in our metta skill. So somehow we are caught in all this enrollment in rumors and gossip. So yes, we need to develop more our metta. So from development of metta, I guess we metta to ourselves first. We always metta to ourselves first. We don't develop those unwholesome feelings from ourselves first. Then only we can calm the situation, you see, because we can treat. By calming the situation, we can treat everyone the same, and then rumors and gossips, and then in the end, truth will always prevail in the end. So this is face the problem diary. Okay, this is from, I think, from one of our brothers. He say metta doesn't seem to be effective for him because sometimes metta might not be the solution. I say it's more effective to face the problem directly, talk out the problem instead of going like giving out radiating metta through the mind, you see. All right. Okay, the next one slide. Thank you. So the question 2 is okay. You know, when we want to do a charitable action, you know, it will never be smooth sailing, you know, plenty objections, and of course the objection and excuses and rejections and all this. So, but if we want to do something, and it's a right thing to do, then we go ahead with the project. Okay, so through from one of our sisters, you know, she experienced this, and then from going through this project, even though she met with a lot of objection, in this project she met different kind of people, you know, all walks of life, you know, and through that she saw their suffering, and she saw their suffering, and she actually doing food aid to help alleviate their anger. So from here she also feels that, you know, through helping them, she also, you know, the intrinsic value that she developed, and then she feels that, you know, it's also the same as helping yourself also, you know. And of course, another brother will say, one of our brothers, he say he still prefer to talk to the solution, take the solution out to the problem to talk. You know, it's compassion in action instead of just silently radiating out metta. You know, practical action to say probably bring more positive results. Okay. Okay, but this is also from one of our sisters, Sister Ming. They say from when we are practicing, when we are practicing loving kindness, we tend to see others, when we are able to see others people's problem, then our own problem doesn't seem so difficult, and it doesn't seem such a big deal anymore. So, you know, probably by developing metta, we also able to see our own blessings in life. And we also, at the same time, you see, when we go through feelings and we meet people, we can't really control what other people feel towards us, you know. So when we develop metta in ourselves, we are actually suppressing our own negative feeling, unwholesome action, and our unwholesome feeling from developing inside of ourselves. So we don't develop all this unwholesome feeling and enmity towards other, you know. So metta, instead, when we practice it to ourselves, and then so we don't feel any hostility towards others. Also, it's actually protecting ourselves when we practice metta. Okay, thank you very much. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Prissy. Now, may we have somebody from Group 3?
Our team, we are not. I think we don't practice loving kindness meditation. So questions we struggled for a while, because we don't. Many of us actually, we still haven't really use loving kindness meditation to overcome any issues that we have in the past. So we can only relate that when we are faced with toxic people, we usually is in office context, like in the office, politics, or at home, because when we have some siblings that we can't get along, or some of them also express that they have some issues with their in-laws. So sometimes we think that maybe by practicing compassionate and being patient, and also sometimes if we really cannot handle the situation, we will try to avoid toxic people, because we want to prevent ourselves being pulled in and become toxic as well. So we will avoid such kind of situation, and then we change our mindset lah. For me, I feel that when I'm faced with a situation with some toxic people or toxic situation, I will focus on the big purpose of that mission, or the kind of work that I was doing. So you know, instead of focusing on the people or focusing on the situation. So that is how I changed my mindset. And then the next question is, wait, let me see, what's the next question? I think what's the next question is, have you encountered a situation where you practice metta? No, because we haven't practiced. Myself also, I do meditation, but I haven't really used metta meditation to help me overcome any of these negative situations. So I cannot comment. The few of us also, so we have not experienced a situation where metta has helped us pull through. I think it's rather our own, because we don't practice I myself don't practice meditation yet. So I when I have a situation like this, I usually would use compassion, or I will read books, or I connect to the nature to calm myself down, instead of getting myself more involved in that negative emotion with that person. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Belinda and Sister Junli. Now, today we will have Uncle Vijaya to continue to share with us what the Buddha taught about merits. So over to you, Uncle Vijaya.
Thank you, Sister. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you for inviting me for this last session. And let's begin by thinking about what is the general topic that we are handling. And we are actually handling merits. And I like to draw your attention to that. Yeah, merits is translated as punya. Yeah, remember that our whole process, from the time we became Buddhist, or even before we became practicing Buddhist, or we had any understanding of what the Buddha taught, the one concern we all have as human beings is happiness. All right, and we have always been looking, and the discussion on metta just now all pointed to that. We have been looking at happiness on a worldly level, and most of the world, yeah, especially given our sort of commercial civilization that we have today, we all think that happiness can be obtained by this world, by activities in this world. The Buddha makes it clear that yes, you can have happiness in this world, but that shouldn't be your primary focus. It is important to develop the facilities to become happy, yeah, for this world. But there is a higher level of happiness. Yeah, this happiness that we are working towards is mundane. It can change. It can become. It can fall back to suffering. But there is another kind of happiness which we call lokotara. That means supramundane, spiritual, higher. Yeah? Merits is what has been developed through the Buddha's teaching on how to experience happiness for this world. So the Buddha was not against looking for happiness in this world, but he reminds us while we are pursuing that, we must also not forget there is a higher purpose in our lives, and that is to seek the ultimate happiness, which we call nirvana. This teaching, which is on punya, merits, we call that punya kamma. Punya is sort of lower, yeah, punya kamma and kusala kamma. Punya kamma, all the things that you can do, and all this discussion on metta was about that. What we can do with punya kamma is to gain happiness at a localized level, low key. But keep in mind, there is more to it than this. But our program will end with metta, which is being concerned with worldly happiness, and it will bring us punya kamma. Okay, and that teaching of metta is included in the 4 Brahma Viharas. Yeah, I think you know about these Brahma Viharas. Now let's take that again. Brahma Vihara. Remember, our mind is now focused on the punya kamma and kusala kamma. Happiness for worldly conditions and happiness for spiritual conditions, higher level. Okay. Now, Brahma Vihara, yeah, translates into Brahma is God. Yeah, and God, of course, implies heaven and so on. Yeah, Vihara, where God lives. So if we practice these kinds of mental developments, if we practice, these are mental states. If we practice these, then in the level of punya kamma, when we die, we will go to heaven. Brahma Vihara. Brahma, God. Vihara, living place, where God lives. Therefore, heaven. Now, the Buddha teaches us that you don't need to die to go to heaven. You don't need to die to be rewarded by an eternity in heaven. You can practice those heavenly states, Brahma Vihara. You can practice those divine states and experience them in this world itself. Now, this happiness is not something out of us. It is within us, and we can create heaven on earth. So that when somebody tells you whether you want to get converted to their religion and go to heaven, say, no, thank you, I'm a Buddhist, I am already in heaven. You can join me if you wish. Okay, so that is Brahma Vihara. Now, Brahma Vihara, yeah, is then divided up again into 4. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha. Okay, these are 4 states of mind which can be developed. Now, it's actually one state of sort of a divine experience. It's one, but the Buddha has, to help us, divided these into sort of 4 levels. Okay, beginning with today's discussion on metta. Okay, now this, why, let's stick on the worldly concerns still. Yeah, this whole thing, these merits that we are talking about, yeah, there are, according to the Buddha's teachings, there are 10 meritorious actions that we can perform. Okay, get that. In order to get this kind of merit punya, in order to get this kind of low worldly happiness, yeah, you can practice 10 meritorious actions. Yeah, punya kammas. And what are they? We'll go through them all. Yeah, they are dana, sila, bhavana. Remember, we said in Buddhism that when we embark on the path towards ultimate happiness, we begin by dana because it's the easiest. Giving, generosity, and so on. Dana. Then we need virtue. Yeah, dana, sila, and then we come to bhavana. Yeah, with bhavana, of course, there is dana. Let me go through the 10. Yeah, there's dana, there's sila, there's bhavana. Then there is reverence, there is service, there is transference of merits, there is rejoicing in others sharing merits. All right, hearing the Dhamma, teaching the Dharma, and correcting one's views. You notice all of these are designed to bring happiness in this world. Of course, it has repercussions in going to heaven and all that, but that's not our concern. Now, today's discussion is on metta. And metta falls under the third of the 10 meritorious actions, which is dana, sila, bhavana. Bhavana, mental culture. Okay, mental culture is bhavana. Bhavana is to grow. How do you grow your mind? Remember, we said creating heavenly states on earth. Heavenly states on earth are not created outside of you. They are mental states. Now, all the discussions that you had just now, yeah, you were more concerned with controlling the world, making metta work for you in this world. But the real understanding is metta is what happens in your mind, how you create these conditions in the mind. Let me pause for a minute, because in the discussions, one group said they want to ask Uncle Vijaya how to handle this problem of having to practice metta with relatives you can't get rid of. Their friends, you can come home and forget them. But at home, you can't get rid of them. What do you do? Yeah, you can't kill them, not allowed in Buddhism. Yeah, so how do you handle difficult relatives? A long time ago, I read a Mahayana magazine where this person writes a similar question and asks the venerable, yeah, the Sifu, and says, Sifu, I have this mother-in-law of mine. I just cannot handle her. Yeah, what do I do? And I'm always fighting with her. The Sifu replies, you are always fighting with her because you see her as your mother-in-law. What you should do is the next time she comes to you, see her as Kuan Yin. She has appeared as Kuan Yin to teach you patience, tolerance, understanding. So the next time you see your difficult relative, see Kuan Yin has come to teach you patience, tolerance, and understanding, and be grateful for that. Okay, so I've answered that question that they were going to throw at me. Now let's come back to metta. Remember, they are states of mind. Remember, they are of worldly concern. They are punya karma, and they don't bring about kusala karma. Yeah, but they are the foundation for the higher levels. You cannot not do all of this and go. You cannot bypass. Yeah, you cannot bypass. But what is it that you do? Metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. These are 4 states of mind, which we call the Brahma Vihara, or the divine abodes. Yeah. So how do you live in a heavenly state while existing on earth? How do you separate the two? All right. And this metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, the first of which is metta, which translates as goodwill and loving kindness. The most common translation we give is loving kindness. But I prefer another translation, which is friendliness. A sense of friendliness towards all beings, including nature. It's all encompassing. Yeah, a lot of you were in the discussions. I got the impression that you were trying to use metta as some kind of a weapon in order to overcome difficulties. Well, it's not some kind of a weapon. You can't use metta to get rid of your problems or to fight your problems. I just know my mother-in-law. I want to get rid of her. Therefore, what I will do? Oh, I'll metta her to death. Cannot. You see, metta is a state of mind where you protect yourself. You protect yourself from these onslaughts. Yeah. When the Buddha teaches, when the body is sick, don't let the mind be sick as well. All the time you are told, guard the mind. All right. And one of the best ways, and actually one of the easiest ways of doing it, that's why it comes at the beginning, it is goodwill, kindliness, friendliness, a sense of goodwill, without caring who it is that is coming. Whether you like the person, you don't like the person, you don't like this animal, whatever, you still practice metta, a sense of goodwill. And those who live by the Dhamma are protected by the Dhamma. Dhammo have rakkati Dhamma charit. If you live by the Dhamma, you will be protected by the Dhamma. Don't use metta as a weapon, but use it to develop yourself, and it will protect you from anything. For example, then remember the time that the Buddha was attacked by the wild elephant, Nalagiri. All right? When it was coming, yeah, the Buddha used millions of years of metta development in his mind. He used this metta to subdue Nalagiri. Yeah, he didn't use it as a weapon. What happened was he just suffused the metta. The metta came out of him and subdued Nalagiri. If you are in a state of metta practiced every day, when a problem arises, the problem will sort itself. You will know what to do. You will know what to say, because metta will come out of you. The Dhamma. You, in the Buddha's case, when he became the Buddha, he became metta. Buddha was metta. That's why he says, he who sees the Dhamma sees me. He who sees the Dhamma sees me. He who sees me sees the Dhamma. The Buddha is Dhamma. In this case, the Buddha is metta. And what does metta do? And the discussion showed that there was a lot of anger, ill will, hatred, aversion generated within ourselves towards these outside forces. And we were trying to protect ourselves from it. All right. The more you practice the metta, the more you will not allow the negative state of dosa. Dosa is anger, ill will, hatred, aversion, all these negative feelings that are within us, and they are coming out. All right. And you, by practicing metta more and more, you're practicing metta all the time. Yeah. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are suffused with metta. There is no opportunity for its opposite, dosa, to come into place. That way you are protected. You are in the office, you are at home, you are with people who are antagonistic towards you, but you are so suffused with metta that it cannot attack you. That is how you protect yourself. Okay, so this is what we mean by metta. With that karuna, mudita, upeka, we have no time to go into, because today's talk is only about metta. Okay, all right. Now let's go to the next slide. I said, rather than loving kindness, fraternal feelings, feelings of brotherhood, feelings of sisterhood, to have this constant feeling, to be suffused with this, so that whenever anything negative comes, you don't see it as negative. You just observe it as it is. And therefore, you don't allow dosa, anger, to arise. There is no room for, it's not don't allow means it's a conscious activity, but there is no room. A Buddha cannot get angry. He's all suffused with love. So when Nalagiri attacked the Buddha there was no room for anger or hatred. That's the level we should develop ourselves into. Is it easy? Of course not. It took the Buddha millions of lifetimes to train that, so that in that moment when Nalagiri attacked, it was spontaneous. It went straight ahead and negated the wildness that was in Nalagiri. Okay, so He who lives by the Dhamma is protected by the Dhamma. Okay, so when negative thoughts come, they cannot arise because you are so suffused with loving kindness. Metta, what does metta do? Yeah, notice this word, metta softens one's heart. I love this translation, softens one's heart. It makes one soft. Yeah, and this hardness, this attack, this sense of enmity that we have trained ourselves to get into, yeah, is the hardness of the heart is broken, and it is replaced with softness. Yeah, and being a true friend. Notice this word, friend. Can you develop friendship, a sense of friendliness towards all? Now, at the moment, the world is shocked and amazed at what's happening in Ukraine. Yeah, where is the place for metta there? Yeah, people are either frightened or people are aggressive. Yeah, if we can radiate, yeah, our metta towards them, that should help. Okay, now what is metta? Metta is also a sincere wish for the welfare. Sincere wish, notice you're going out of yourself, yeah, forgetting the concern that you have for yourself, but you are worried about the other. Now, this is also a very, very important teaching. What metta does is takes you out of yourself and your needs into the needs of the other. Whoever is antagonistic towards you, what is it that, if I was in her shoes, if I was in his shoes, what would I do? Why is he behaving like this towards me? Sincere wish for the welfare and genuine happiness of all living beings without exception. Now, this is a very important teaching in Buddhism. Yeah, it is not, metta doesn't see a self. Metta doesn't see others as separate beings. Metta is all pervasive. Metta is like a light which goes right across the universe. It doesn't choose whom it loves and whom it does not love. Some people easy to love, other people not. With metta, you break those barriers. You don't see who I like and who I don't. I don't care whether you're a Ukrainian or whether you are a Russian. I am radiating my loving kindness towards you. Okay? Now, it transcends, this metta transcends all kinds of narrow brotherhood. All our sense of nationhood, all our belonging to different parties, all our belonging to this religion, that religion, yeah? And you are my brother because you are a Buddhist. No, you are my brother because you are. You are my brother. I don't care what you belong to. It calls for a huge paradigm shift in your vision, how you see the world. But you have to transcend that with metta. And it also says limitless. One of the qualities of metta is its limitlessness. That means that's why it's Brahma Vihara. That's why it's heaven. That's why it's a state of mind. Yeah, metta is limitless. It does not pile kase. It does not say, I like you, but I don't need to like you. No, it has to be. I know why that's the first. And that is why also very importantly, metta must begin with you. If you do not like yourself, there is no way you can like others. All the time you have problems with other people is because partly the problem is yourself. If you are happy with yourself and you see enough examples of why you need to be happy with yourself, Venerable Mahinda told us a beautiful exercise. When we wake up in the morning, before we go to bed at night, we spend a moment to just focus on our body and say to my legs, thank you, legs, for having carried me the whole day. You must be very tired. Thank you, hands, for what you have done for me. Thank you, face, for the whole day you served me. Now you need a good rest. Please go to sleep. Now, when you radiate metta like that towards yourself, you wake up in the morning feeling good about the world. So when others are showing you a sour face, you can't see it because you are yourself experiencing such happiness within yourself. So metta must start with yourself and then proceed without limitation to encompass the whole of the cosmos. Okay, now sublime metta bestows sweet blessings. Very important, I've already mentioned this, equally. That's the important thing. Not consciously trying to break the boundaries, but you actually cannot see the boundaries. That is the ultimate goal of metta. Yeah, you must be feeling friendly, not only towards those whom it is easy to be friendly with. Yeah, you must be able to be friendly towards the pleasant and the unpleasant, the rich and the poor, the high and the low, the man and woman, human and animal, whatever. And where do we get this example from? Of course, from the Buddha himself. The Buddha treated his own son Rahula, yeah, in exactly the same way as he treated a little boy called Sunita. Sunita was thrown out. He was an outcast. People used to throw him out of the village, and he was suffering. And the Buddha showed Sunita the same love and compassion that he showed his son Rahula. His adversary Devadatta, who tried so often to kill him, never did the Buddha feel anything, yeah, but compassion towards him. Yeah, and of course, attendant Ananda, who served him for 25 years, yeah, day and night. And he treated Ananda with the same friendly concern that he treated Devadatta. Yeah, and can we do that? It's very, very difficult, but that is why the reward, if you can have it, the reward is that much greater. The higher the mountain, the greater the sense of achievement. Okay, his admirers, those who hated him, those who loved him, those who attempted to harm him, kill him, he had that same sense of metta. He was not practicing metta as we are doing. He was metta, which we will become when we attain arahant. Okay, and this is best, I think, encapsulated. This concept of metta is best encapsulated in this verse, yeah, in the Karaniya Metta Sutra. Very popular. I do hope you can learn it by heart. It's a powerful sutra, yeah, to protect you through the practice. Yeah, just as a mother, very powerful image, just as a mother would protect her only child at the risk of her own life. That is very selfish. Yeah, very noble, very admirable, great love. Give her life to her own son. Easy. But as a Buddhist, you don't only choose that same love can you give to a chicha or a cockroach. Can you treat them in the same friendly manner? If you can, then you have qualified to call yourself a Buddhist. It's a very, very big call, but that is how difficult it is and how great the reward is when you practice it. Okay, and you will notice that this is emphasized so much in Buddhism. Yeah, not so much fellow Buddhists, not so much humans, no, but it's an abstract quality that you need to practice right round. Okay, and how to cultivate? We've got, let me go very, very quickly. I think in a minute we are going to have a practice of metta meditation, and there we will go into it in greater detail. But how do you practice it? Let's go. This is all taken from a lovely little book called Friendliness by Venerable Ajahn Brahms. Yeah, and he says that one of the ways in which we can benefit by the practice of metta meditation is by ourselves coming to terms with ourselves. Yeah, this is a practical application of metta, and because of time constraints, we can only stay with our personal practice of metta. Okay, we throughout our lives have been trained or have been conditioned to think about unpleasant memories. Yeah, we too much of it. We have some pleasant memories, but most of our memories are stuck with the past. Ajahn Brahm says, let go of that. Bring them, call them back. Call them, meaning call those unpleasant experiences back and let them go. Yeah, don't remember only what went wrong. Yeah, when he says that when you focus on what went wrong, your heart shrinks. You become a smaller person. But when you let go, he says, yeah, you keep practicing the metta. It's hard, it's difficult, but little by little, like a drop of water wearing away a rock. Similarly, this practice of metta, little by little, maybe over an entire lifetime, maybe over many lifetimes, you break it down and soften the heart. Okay, right? And then metta for the past. Yeah, we have been taught to have a fault-finding mind, he says. Yeah, then to become a better person, remember what went wrong, and then replace that with all the good things that happen. So suffuse yourself with good memories of the heart. Educate our heart so that it gets bigger and bigger. Yeah, if you recall all the good things you have done, you will get a big heart. Then questions about the future, we are worried about what's going to happen. Who is it? Especially today with COVID, with what's happening in Russia, the world, everyone in the world is so concerned about the future. But what can we do? Yeah, worrying about it does not help. What we can do is accept the reality as is. And he says, uncertainty triggers fear. Fear is one of our greatest enemies. Yeah? And we must do whatever we can. With the practice of metta, we have no time for fear. When the Nalagiri was attacking the Buddha, the fear had no opportunity to arise because metta took over. That's the state of mind which we have to develop. Okay? And then in the past, fear has to be replaced with hope. And it will happen. The less fear we have, the more we have hope. Okay? Then, of course, comes the most important thing. Forget the past, forget the future. The Buddha says, they do not worry about the past. He was asked why the monks that were with him were so peaceful, so calm, so contented. And he said, they do not worry about the past. They do not worry about the future. But by remaining ever in the present, are they calm and serene. Metta is about now. Metta is about your heart of friendliness towards all beings all the time. Yeah, 24/7. You are suffused with metta. Okay. In the past, we said all of this. I don't want this. I can't stand it a moment longer. I want to get rid of my mother-in-law. That's in the past. Metta is our greatest insurance for the present. Instead of getting rid of the pain, accept it and let it be. There is your answer. Accept it and let it be. Easy? Who said so? It's not easy, but it requires the strength of a practicing Buddhist to accept. Accept it means examine it, understand it. Don't throw it under the carpet. Bring it out. Have the courage to bring it out. Examine it and then let it be. This is in our power. Letting it be is in our power. Changing the situation outside, that's not in our power. We can't change an unpleasant situation. We can change our attitude towards it. Buddhism is all bhavana, mental culture. Mental culture is how you see it. I think we are running short of time. So I'd like to end with actually a Christian story. Yeah, the story goes a bit like this. It's not in the Bible, it's just a story. It goes like one day Jesus Christ was walking along the road with all his disciples. As they were walking along the road, they saw a dog. This dog had been dead for 5 days. And you know Israel is a very hot country. And after 5 days, what happens to the dog? So the disciples looked at this bloated corpse of the dog and said, "Ooh, how ugly. Oh, look at the worms. Oh, look at the pus. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at the smell." And Jesus looked and said, "Look what beautiful teeth the dog has." Teeth, as in gigi. The teeth were beautiful. You can see dead dogs everywhere, but you can choose to see the beautiful teeth. All these situations where you see ugliness because of past, present, and future, convert that and see what good you can. To see the good, you have to yourself feel good. That's the secret. Life, the door of my heart is open to you wherever you are, however you feel. That is the key to happiness. I think we'll end there now. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Uncle Vijaya. Okay, so now we will proceed with the most anticipated session, okay, which is the Q&A. Right now, we already have 3 questions. Okay, Uncle Vijaya, in the chat box, Sister Billy has asked, she noticed that it's getting challenging to practice helpfulness at the workplace, as there is a culture of protecting one's turf, either one's colleagues or boss, wanting to protect our resources and ensuring we get recognized for our work. How do we balance between having boundaries versus metta or helpfulness?
I think it boils down to attitude of mind. A lot of this is how it translates. Your own attitude. First and foremost, yes, you are told protect the herd. All right, that you have to look after your own self. Okay, that's your first priority. Fair enough, because if you're working for a firm, you need to be loyal to the firm, and you got to look and see to the welfare of everybody in that firm. At the same time, yeah, within yourself, there is no need to develop negative thoughts about others. That's a private thing. That's about yourself. It doesn't involve overtly going around and telling everybody, I love you, I'm a Buddhist, here's my metta for you. No. that's the framework within which you protect yourself. Your metta, your loving kindness, your attitude towards everybody else is there within yourself. With that, you use that to protect the people in your company, your herd. All right. And at the same time, do not harbor evil thoughts or negative thoughts against your competitors. You can be a competitor, but you don't need to be angry with them or hate them. It can be a positive thing. So develop the positive states of mind within yourself. That's metta.
Okay, thank you very much, Uncle Vijaya. Let's take a look at the second question. Sister Yuli mentions, Uncle Vijaya, outside metta meditation, how do we cultivate metta when we are not meditating?
Oh, yeah. Metta is something, when you meditate, you focus on it, you are aware of it, you are doing it, and then for the rest of the day, you don't put it in a cupboard and lock it up. You carry that sense of feeling friendly towards all beings. You become part of metta. You don't lock it away. It's not something that's outside there. But the meditation helps to focus it, has to bring it into contact. Then when you walk out, meditation is not something you do in a room. Meditation is something you do all the time. Yeah, walking, sleeping, lying. All right. So when you formally meditate on metta, it doesn't mean it finishes when the session is over. When the session is over, you carry that frame of mind, metta. And if you do it long enough, over a lifetime, then you become that metta. That's what happened to the Buddha. That's what happens to the Arahants. Yeah, they become metta. That is your goal. It's not something you do at a sitting. It is something that you carry with you all your life. I hope I've answered that question.
Uncle Vijaya,
Yeah.
when you say you carry with you after you finish your metta meditation, in what sense do we carry? The mind, the heart?
The mind. Everything goes back to the mind, because mind is the forerunner of all states. If one thinks, yeah, with an evil mind, then evil actions will follow. But if your mind is suffused with metta, not just metta, yeah, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, yeah, and upekka is the highest level. If you are suffused with that, then you carry it with you. It becomes a part of you. The challenge that we have is when those two, the external and the internal, become one. Now we are doing it more or less artificially when we begin, when we chant the metta and so on, then it becomes artificial. But little by little, like swimming, when you begin, it's very contrived. It's very thought out.
Like not really, I don't feel like when we practice metta, even if we send metta to ourselves, to the others, sometimes I don't feel, do I really love myself? Do I really love others? I mean, it's just chanting, you know. How do I know it's really metta?
Okay. One of the things we need to guard against, what we need to guard against is intellectualizing whatever we do. I think too much of our training is to question this. Go into it. Go into it without questions. Don't ask yourself, is this the right thing to do? All right. May I be well and happy? Yeah. See, you don't intellectualize it. You suffuse yourself with it, and we say, may I be well and happy. May I be well and happy has an element of doubt. May I? Maybe it cannot. Okay. Rather, I would say, I am well and happy.
Oh.
And you don't need to question that. Am I? No, you see,
am
get
I?
into the mood and then develop that mood
No, the thing is, when I first started with metta meditation, I noticed when I said, may I be well and happy, I asked myself, but I'm not really well and happy.
Yeah.
I'm suffering here. That's why I am in metta meditation, because I'm suffering, or else I won't even join the metta meditation.
That's why Ajahn Brahm says, let go of the past. You see, remember he said, it's our past training. It's all of this that has told us that no, you are not happy. You have got no right to be happy. Yeah, and everything is must go wrong with you. Otherwise, you can. We Buddhists also suffer. First, First noble truth already suffer pula. Okay, but no. Yeah, while that is so, the Buddha explains what suffering is. So you take and you say to yourself, am I really that bad? Am I really in such a bad? Is my mother-in-law really as bad as my neighbor's mother-in-law? Oh, you haven't seen Uncle Vijaya's mother-in-law. You see, when we, what Ajahn Brahms is saying also is, we need to develop positive states of mind. On trust. You can see the example of Jesus Christ. The choice is yours. You can question, you can be doubtful, or you can have Shraddha. Shraddha is faith, but not faith, I believe in God. Faith in that there is goodness. Goodness is possible. Yeah, that's what a Kuan Yin is. That's what a Bodhisattva is. Bodhisattvas don't question, they just are. Yeah, even the Searchy Foundation, those people who work for Searchy, yeah, they are not interested in all the doctrines and all of this. They just do. They just do. And when they do, the happiness comes to them. Why? Because they are not thinking of themselves. The selfishness is removed. And when the selfishness is removed, the question mark, the doubts, these are negative states, which we need to consciously get rid of. So have more faith in yourself. That's basically the answer.
Okay, thank you. I think it's to have more positive thoughts so that the negative thoughts don't rise.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Think positive all the time. Yeah, look at the teeth of the dog. Don't look at the decaying dog. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Uncle Vijaya. I think we've got one last question by Sister Billy. Okay, she mentioned that I heard that we shouldn't radiate loving kindness to others when we have some negative emotions. Is this true? Okay, the reason that was given was that the person we are radiating to may end up feeling the negative emotions we feel. Is that true?
No, it is true. It is true in the sense that when I have negative thoughts and I radiate negative thoughts, yes, negative thoughts, because it's the opposite of what we are saying all along, that you have positive thoughts, the positive thoughts will go to the other side. First of all, you develop that's why may I be well and happy first. You must feel good about yourself. As long, and it says there, if you have somebody that you are not well inclined towards, don't start meditating there first. You always begin meditation after yourself with those with whom it's easy to connect. It's later when you're getting really deeper into it that you start bringing into play those who are negatively inclined towards you. You don't do it as the first thing. Why? Because your face, your mind, is negative. Negative things will go. And it's bad for you, it's bad for the other side. Become positive yourself. Then, as you go deeper and deeper, then you can try radiating metta towards other people. But don't forget, at the same time, karuna must come into the picture. You must understand, you must replace that negative thought towards others with positive thoughts first, and then go for it. Yeah.
Uncle Vijaya, thank you so much for answering all my questions. So I think my question was a little bit different, and maybe I didn't articulate it very well. What I meant was, for example, I'm doing metta meditation, and then I am sad. But I don't have ill will towards a person in particular that I'm radiating to. But because there is some negative emotions that I'm sad, but I'm still wishing the person well and the thoughts are sincere. But is it an appropriate time to practice metta? I'm worried that my negative sadness feeling, not related to the person, may affect the person. Yeah.
Try and get into the positive state of mind first. Try and do that, because you're trying to do two things at one time. You're fighting your unhappiness, and then you're trying to radiate metta. There's two things. It's complicated. Stay with metta for yourself first. Yeah, serve yourself first, then serve others. Okay, but to do two at the same time will be confusing. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Uncle Vijaya. So that's all the time we have for Q&A. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Uncle Vijaya.
Thank you.
So now we will invite Ariya to come and share with us a few pointers on how we can practice metta.
Thank you, Daniel. I think we have a very rich information on how we should cultivate our mind. There's a few points that I'd like to probably add. Firstly, I think we have to get understanding right when we talk about bhavana. Yeah, we say metta bhavana. Yeah, so it's a continuous cultivation of the mind. Yeah, and most of us, when we say metta meditation in our modern term, we tend to think, sitting, yeah, and then do metta, yeah. And as we say, oh, may I be well and happy, we always use the head rather than the heart. So that's why you say, I cannot feel, yeah, because you are using your head, yeah. So that's why you get headache and tension in the head and stress, yeah. So as we cultivate our heart, yeah, this word metta, of course, Uncle Vijaya have defined for you all very clearly, yeah. Common words, loving kindness, then you say friendliness or goodwill. Yeah? But then if you look at the sutta that talk about metta, yeah, for example, Karana Metta Sutta, or the benefit of metta in the what you call Metta Nisangsa Sutta, and other sutta that mention about metta, yeah, and indeed metta. Today topic on punya, right? It's higher than even generosity. When you take refuge, you practice morality, and metta is even higher. The merits gained through metta. And of course, when we practice metta, you know, for long years we have been experiencing unhappiness, difficulties, and so it doesn't mean that one day you just sit down and suddenly say, "May I be well and happy," then boom, you know, you're happy, right? Because of the habitual pattern of our mind, yeah. Therefore, it takes time. So sometimes people say, "How do we feel that happiness?" Yeah, and a lot of modern people now, they cannot feel happiness. Most of the time, you hear the word stress. Now, even to ask a person to smile, it's so difficult for them to do so. So where can we find happiness then? Because if you ask people, how do you know someone is happy? Because everybody is looking forward for happiness. Then naturally they will answer, because you see them smiling. Just that simple indication. Yeah, we are not going into very philosophical thing, but it's very simple thing. Yeah, happiness indicated by a smile. Yeah, so when we practice metta, to get into it easily, or physically first, then always remember, even as you breathe in and breathe out, sometimes you can see that the way they breathe, just to breathe in and breathe out is so hard, which every day we are doing, you know, but just to bring their awareness to their relaxed mode and just relax and breathe in and breathe out. It takes time for them to do so, but nevertheless, it will help them to calm down the mind. And when you add in, as you breathe in with a smile, immediately you can see the immediate effect. Yeah, that the heart start to soften down. Yeah, so just by smiling. Yeah, so of course nowadays with the science, it can prove to you that as you breathe in and smile, naturally your whole being become happier. Yeah, why? Because there are certain chemical in your body will start to transform into a happy hormone, right? So as simple as that. Yeah, and now when we teach people metta, we have to ask them to smile because they don't know how to smile. And sometimes we have to repeat again and again to ask them to smile. Yeah, and why? Because when they smile, when you check with them, immediately they can tell you, I feel calm, I feel peaceful, I feel relaxed, yeah, I feel kind, and all those mental state quality immediately come to their mind. Yeah, so one is in action. Yeah, the metta can be done very quickly in our daily life. But of course, for the cultivation, when we say cultivation means we are training the mind, giving the mind more training, how we can get into a deeper state of the metta, means this loving kindness, boundless, and that kind of joy truly develop through our heart, to the whole being of our body, of our mind. We know that from the Noble Eightfold Path, right thought, right thought consists of three components. One is the thought of, to renounce sensual pleasure. This reduction of sensual pleasure is the right thought. Second is actually metta. The thought of metta is right thought. And third, of course, the thought of non-cruelty, harmlessness. So we can see in this right thought itself, that is where it will break into right speech, right action. Right? So in our cultivation of metta, it also entails, not just only the training while we are doing our sitting bhavana. So meaning in our thoughts, our speech, our bodily action, it is actually manifesting in our daily life as we cultivate more and more. So when one can be happy with oneself, meaning their body and mind are in the state of loving kindness, friendliness, it can actually manifest into their speech and their bodily action. And in this way, it will, of course, promote well-being for themselves and promote well-being for others. So bhavana, metta bhavana is not just a sitting meditation. It is a cultivation, a quality, a virtue that a person develop and in their mind and also in their heart. And so it can extend to their, or it manifests into their speech and bodily action. And if you look deeper into the sutta, of course, we said there are many ways in cultivating a metta. So one way is to start with yourself. Of course, without having metta, how can we radiate to others? And most of the time, sometimes when we cultivate metta, sometimes people don't do it properly. They thought when I think of somebody else, their mind actually jump to somebody else. So they have forgotten what is within them. And we used to tell them to get the understanding, just like a sun, radiate out warm and light to all sentient beings without exception, for their well-being. So when we radiate metta, meaning actually we are radiating out. As we radiate, we suffuse them. Suffuse them. First, we suffuse ourselves. Radiating from our heart, we suffuse our whole being, all the cells in our body, all the whole being. Until we are able to experience that peace, that kindness, that love. Then we start to radiate out. Right? So from there, as we radiate out, we also suffuse whoever that, as we recall to mind. We also suffuse them. Suffuse means just like, that laser beam, you suffuse them. You don't send out like that, So sometimes you send out, if you send out send your metta. So they travel, if you think of the person US, your mind go to US already. That is not correct. Means where are you now? your mind is out there, then you will carry out with your thoughts. Then the thoughts will proliferate. Then you are lost in the thought. You are not doing metta. Okay, you are not developing the loving kindness or radiating the loving kindness. So we also have to get it correct. That when we develop, it really helps our heart, to open up. And truly, the quality or the virtue of metta will clearly develop and what gets into the Samma Samadhi. Samma Samadhi is a state when the mind is actually all the 5 hindrances of the mind, like sensual pleasure, anger, or this sloth and torpor, restlessness, or remorse, or doubt, it subsides. And that is where, when the mind or the heart gets into that level of joy and happiness and peace and love and kindness, and that state of the mind is actually more powerful and more pure. And when they radiate that metta, of course, it is even greater than our normal way of radiating metta. But nevertheless, I would say that it's always a good start. When you start somewhere, you will start to learn, to develop, to understand, and to do it better. And once you get it into that mode of consistently developing your mind with the virtue of metta, then you will see, of course, different transformation within you and also transformation outside you. So it comes from you, and to develop it, and then you will be able to also manifest it into your speech, into your action. And that's how it repeats again and again until, like the Buddha said, we can be able to reach that state just like the Buddha. It's a metta, boundaryless, limitless, and it's all the time there. And it is possible to cultivate because the Buddha did it, and many also other arahants did it. And so it is possible for us to cultivate this quality of metta bhavana. So don't think the metta bhavana as just a sitting meditation, say, may I be well and happy, how come I'm not happy, right? And that's not the way. It's a cultivation in our daily life too. Saying good words, giving a smile is also a part of how we extend our metta, our friendliness, our goodwill in speech, in our bodily actions. Just to share with you all, just a simple, like I said, thoughts of metta sometimes can make life change, or make somebody feel there's a hope or there's a greatness in life again. I just shared with you last time in the hospital, and I just saw this particular young lady, holding a necklace with a cross. And I can see in her face, it's just like helplessness, bleak, no future. I think maybe might have been suffering from very terminal illness. I don't know her, but I see a maid with her. And while standing there, I was looking at her. I just feel her heart. It just feels like, she just lost hope and everything is bleak, And then I asked myself, in my heart, of course, I wish her, may you be well and happy, be free from suffering, all this thing. Then I asked myself, what can I do? What else can I do now? Then finally, I made a decision. I just go to her, just hold her hand, and just look into her eyes and smile. I tell her, sister, you will be all right. I just say like that. And she sort of, look up to me, and suddenly her face changed. From like very sad, very down. Suddenly her face changed, like it's brightness and there's a hope. And again, I reassure her again. I tell her, sister, you'll be all right. And I can see a little bit of smile from her face. So that vision still stay in my mind. I did not much thing. I just give her a smile, give her assurance, give her my friendliness and kindness to her, to tell her that, there's always this kindness and love in our hearts. And through that, I think we will make things better and able to embrace, whatever that comes with open heart. So I think Of course, speaking about metta, there's such a big topic, yeah, and a lot of things we can do to really embrace metta in our life, in our practice, in our work, in whatever we do. Yeah, we can do it, and a lot of teaching in the sutta. So when you recite, please also read the English meaning always. Yeah, so then you don't feel like you are reciting and without understanding. So like, for example, when you recite Karaniyametta Sutta, then you also read the English. Yeah. So then you can really reflect the meaning of it. And it's so important also when we read the Pali, we recite, then we read the English, then we can appreciate, yeah, the powerful meaning of each of the Pali word that comes up. Yeah. And this is why we still maintain the Pali tradition, because some words sometimes when they translate into English, yeah, it can run, the meaning can run. Yeah. So we have this rich teaching. So when it's translated to English, we can also reflect on the meaning. So both are important. Yeah. And it helps us to embrace the Buddhist teaching more. And just like Uncle Vijaya said, so when you practice, then you see the Dhamma, you will see the Buddha. When you experience the metta, you can also experience how the great metta of the Buddha, right? And I'd like to also share, but I think no time. So next time, we will share with you more stories of real metta, and that all of us can also embrace and practice. So I think probably that's all for now, and thank you for this opportunity to share with you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to Ayah. Okay, now let's pay respect to the triple gem and Ayah by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow.
Secure.
Thank you, Ayah. Now, Ayah, may we kindly invite you to lead us in the sharing of merits to close today's session.
Right. So I'd like to actually thank Uncle Vijaya for his kindness to share the Dhamma with all of us, and also to all the participants. And let us compose our mind and recalling to mind all the merits accrue through this learning and practicing of the Dhamma, and taking refuge in the triple gem, and in practicing the 5 precepts, and in softening our heart with metta, and developing wisdom through our Dhamma discussion. And all this merit continue to pave way for you to grow in strength and in a confidence in the triple gem, and in all your effort to abandon what is unwholesome and unskillful, and to cultivate and develop all the wholesome states and skillful states, so be able to penetrate into the profound Dhamma that leads to the ultimate freedom. May this merit also be an inspiration for your family members, relatives, and friends, for them also to walk the Dhamma's way. We shall also share this merit with all the devas, all the heavenly beings, to rejoice, and also dedicate this merit to all departed ones for their spiritual well-being. Akasatta cha bummata deva naga mahitika punyantang anumoditva jirang rakantu lokasasanam. Akasatta cha bummata deva naga mahitika punyantang anumoditva jirang rakantu desanam. Akasatta cha bummata deva naga mahitika punyantang anumoditva jirang rakantu mam paranti. Etavata cha amhe sambatang punya sampadam Sabbe deva sabbe satta sabbe buddha anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patiya. Devo vasatu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha pito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita huntu jnatayo. Idam me jnatinam hotu Sukhita huntu jnatayo. Idam me jnatinam hotu. Sukhita huntu jnatayo. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sukhi.
Suki Hotu. Thank you very much, Aya. So with that, brothers and sisters, okay, we will move on to the next topic, which is the module of stress on the 3rd of April. With Sister Mei Liu, we'll explore an interesting topic that has existed even in the time of the Buddha, which is stress. So don't miss out on the next session. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Till we meet again in 2 weeks' time, take care and stay safe. Bye. Okay, bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye. See you.
Thank you, Ayah. Thank you, Uncle Vijaya.